Obviously, 37 minutes and 36 seconds of joy came out. CBS News got, I think, the whole thing, but released an excerpt of it because there's no reason to release like all whatever 2 hours of it, because at a certain point all he does is same answer, same answer, same answer, and he says it in a way that it's like his voice sounds like the world's saddest Steven Seagal balloon leaking as it tries to say salamander. You'll see. But he has he's not supposed to bring an attorney to this. He can have one present to give advice, but he doesn't have a right to an attorney for a deposition in this particular case. It's a different set of rules. They talk about it at the beginning of the video. And he has the right to not answer incriminating questions, and he can consult counsel, but there's no right to an attorney at this kind of a deposition. You can have one present if you want to, but you don't have it's it. Yeah. So since he hasn't been charged with the crime, and it's, I don't know, the civil standard on tax fraud and all that other kind of stuff are all, anyways, it's not important. But the great thing is you can hear his attorney whispering in the background on this. Hold on one second. I haven't listened to the whole statement because I wanted to hear it with you guys, but he is pissed and miserable. And Letitia James is sitting right here. She's there in the room. She talks to him, and it's interesting watching him have to be polite to her as much as he fucking hates her guts, because he's a coward. Somebody else is doing the questions, by the way, ultimately. So if he was as brash and innocent as he says, instead of just the cowering lame-o that he actually is in real life, he would go, I'll answer the questions as per my attorney's instructions, but I consider it abuse that she's sitting in the room. You could say that. And she would go, okay, I'll leave the room. He'll ask the questions. I can watch this later. All right, I can watch from the other room. Yeah, fine. Yeah, super good. She's sitting in the room. Yeah, it's good. She reads a whole breakdown. Here, I'll back it up a little bit and show you what I mean. Where am I? At 6 minutes 3. Okay, so you'll see what I mean. Here we go.
Of her testimony here today from the reporter.
That's her voice.
And neither you nor Veritex are permitted to release copies of the transcript to anyone other than representatives of this office, the Office of the Attorney General. Extensive note-taking or any attempt to create a transcript of the proceedings here by you or your attorneys is not authorized and will not be permitted.
So the rules on this kind of interview are fucking rock, because it's a business thing. It's not the criminal proceeding as such is against, his business dealings. And so there's a limitation on what, as opposed to like a violent crime, which is really interesting. But, so by the idea, I guess, that eventually you'll be going to a minimum security place, the laws are structured that they have to take less of your guff. So, he does not call her by that name. He does not call her by the racist nickname he gave her. So let me jump right in here and let's enjoy.
Mr. Trump, what did you do to prepare for today's examination?
You can start to. You can read your sentence.
Did you hear the voice? She goes, you can read your sentence. She doesn't say statement. I think it's Haba, who's right next to him. Yeah, Alina Haba goes, you can read your little, just recite your poem. It's time for your book report, Donnie. She is
very little.
Read your statement.
If you'd like, I could read the statement, but very little.
Yeah, if you'd like. It's not up to them, fucko. Your attorney and you drafted a statement so you could read it. I mean, I guess this is a trick. Make it their idea. I don't know. I mean, you could read the statement I wrote, but people like to hear me play the hits. So if you want, I could get on my guitar and I could sing you a little ditty.
Little.
Well,
She keeps going, read the statement. Read the statement. Say the statement. Read the statement. It's like he's in a elementary school or preschool play of the Charlie Brown Christmas, and the teacher's in the stage going, Merry Christmas. God bless us, everyone.
Excuse me. Read the statement.
Can we go?
Read this. Now she's speaking in her full voice. Read the statement. Fuck me.
Yes, he would like.
I will now use my.
Yes, he would like to read the statement. Listen to the. Okay, you'll hear the statement, but I know I'm maybe fixating on this, but this is funny. So she starts going, you should probably read the statement. You should read the statement. Read the statement. Read the statement. He's going to read the statement. Oh, God.
If you'd like, I could read the statement, but very little.
Well,
Excuse me. Read the statement.
can we go?
Yes, he would like.
I will now use my moment to go off the record.
Thank you. Sorry, just read.
Yeah, she literally calls it off. She goes, like they're giving the fuck this signal. They go off the record, and when he comes back, he's reading the statement because they're like, hey, fuckhead, we can't transcribe this, but they sure as shit can. And it's going to be in there that I said, read the fucking statement. So read the fucking statement. Oh, and he's written in front of him. Yes, it's laying right on the table. Oh.
We're going off the record at 9:44 a.m.
He just, look at him. He just got read the riot act by his basically like Melania #2 piece of ass attorney that he hired because he liked her picture, and she's trying to do some real lawyering, and he's such a fucking pig. He can't.
We're back on the record at 9:45 a.m.
Bet your ass we
Mr.
are.
Trump, I understand you have a statement that you wanted to read into the record.
Yeah, I understand that you had something you wrote at home, did you? You served that up, did you?
Yes.
Would you please feel free to start at any
Thank
time?
you very much. This is the greatest witch hunt in the history of our country.
I regret that I have only one pussy-grabbing statement and over 24 verified and evidentially capable, what did it see right here? Sexual assault cases against me to give for my country. Also witch hunt, also hoax. Does witch hunt and hoax work? Does it work like holy water and garlic with you people? Is that how this works? Do I just say hoax and you all run away? That's what they used to do.
There has never been another president or perhaps even another politician who has been persecuted, harassed, and in every other way unfairly treated like President Donald J. Trump.
Lincoln was shot in the head. Garfield was shot and died, 24 hours, 48 hours later? Kennedy? Jesus Christ, man. Calm the fuck down.
What Letitia James has tried to do.
You didn't call her peekaboo? You don't have the cojones to call her peekaboo when she's sitting right there, you fucking pig?
The last number of years is a disgrace to the legal system, an affront to the New York State taxpayers, and a violation of the solemn right.
By the way, of which he is not one. Yeah, all the New York taxpayers. Not me, obviously.
Rights and protections afforded by the United States Constitution. She developed a political platform and made a career out of maliciously attacking me and my business before.
By the way, a tactic that this of attacking the prosecutor and the DA and that's never been tried by a guilty party in the past. If you want to go back, how many people in the chat room, how many of you watched any of the Bundy true crime shit that came out, the Ted Bundy shit? Because it is, Ted Bundy's why we have pictures on driver's licenses. Just flat out. Like he was the straw that broke the camel's back. That motherfucker stole somebody else's driver's license, and since he didn't have to have a picture on it, he was just setting up shop at, in Florida. He was in Florida. It's weird that they all go there for like, what, 40 days, a month and a half, something like that, 3 months, where he was just underground living a life. Anyways, there's a moment where they discover him there. He gets arrested for fucking driving the same Beetle and illegally, blah blah, and he gets taken to jail, and he won't say his name. And then somebody watching the news goes, That's fucking Ted. He escaped from Colorado. Hey, Colorado, he's in fucking Florida. So they go down to get him, and they bring him back. And then the prosecutor is saying something, and they happen to be transporting Bundy out at the time. And he starts making this like kind of grandiose statement that it's a witch hunt kind of, and that they're unfairly persecuting him. Same shit. Same pathetic, like ego-driven horseshit. And Trump thinks that like this'll stop them in their tracks. I got news for you. If you're in this kind of situation, you'll have your day in court in front of the judge. The parts of your deposition they're going to show in court ain't this. Nobody is going to call this part up, including your own fucking attorney. Your own attorney is not going to show this clip in court in your defense. In your defense, Your Honor, I'd like to show a section of the deposition where my client clearly shits on the legal system and whines about being innocent. I'd like to play that for the jury because they're obviously going to be moved. Yeah.
Or she even understood or was elected or reviewed one of the millions of pages of documents we willingly produced. We willingly produced these documents.
We're so religious that these documents, they crawl up and put themselves on your plate themselves.
James proclaimed that she, quote, looks forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day suing me and then going home.
What? You mean she didn't, like, spend all day suing you and then going out at night as part of a BLM Antifa riot, smashing windows and burning Target stores? Come on.
This is during her campaign. She announced that she was obsessed with, quote, taking me on. Taking me on.
Yeah, that's a horrible statement. Taking me out, fuckhead. That would be dangerous and scary. Somebody, I look forward to taking him out. That's wrong. Taking him on means considers the person an adversary, very much a worthy one, saying as a matter of fact that I'm showing my stuff by saying I can take on somebody that powerful. That honest to God, he thinks taking me on is the same as taking me out.
And that her eyes were set on Trump Tower, quote, Trump Tower.
Thank you for clarifying. Was it Trump Tower for real or Trump Tower in like Don Jr. quotes?
She even assured her supporters as an election promise very strongly that, quote, we're going to definitely sue him. Before she even knew anything about me, we're going to be a real pain in his ass. And
she won. I guess the voters thought that was. I don't know. Should I say something about this Trump person? Yeah. Tell him you're gonna sue his ass and be all over him and take him on. Say that. Why? I don't even know the guy. Believe me, everybody in New York will want you as their DA. They'll think you're a complete idiot if you don't go after him like everybody else who's like Giuliani and these assholes have let him slide all these years. Just say you're going to fuck with him and everybody will go, she's got my vote. Fuck that dude. New Yorkers hate this asshole.
He's going to know my name personally. And she claimed I was on an illegitimate, and that it was an illegitimate president. Quote.
Wait a minute. I get was an illegitimate president because you were president and you're no longer on an illegitimate president? On them. On who? Which one are we talking about? I mean, I guess Bush v. Gore would make George W. the obvious choice for the last illegitimate president you could be on, considering Gore won Florida. But I'm sorry. Maybe he's not sticking to the United States. He's a big fan of quote unquote presidents from countries that don't have presidents, like China and Russia.
Illegitimate president. In her AG speech, she promised to, quote, shine a bright
Sorry, by the way, did I say DA earlier? AG.
light into every dark corner of Trump's real estate holdings. Shortly thereafter, she
All you got to do is say there aren't any, and you're done. Oh, I see. That's what worries.
vowed to, quote, use every area of the law to investigate President Trump and his business transactions, and that of his family as well. She knows nothing about us. This is when she knew absolutely nothing about us. It was very...
Yes. Let's just go with, she just knew like rumors. Let's take him at his word. She knew nothing about him. And she was saying this, and the New Yorkers were like, yeah, fuck that dude, and elected her. And then she got in there and she's like, holy shit, I do have to bring a case against this guy. She didn't get in there, look at the info, look at the evidence she had never seen before, and then come away going, sorry guys, I looked at it. There's really nothing there.
very unfair.
Oh.
This whole thing is very unfair.
Oh, it's unfair. And, you know, he's a second generation rich kid. It's supposed to be fair for him.
As a pretense for commencing her bogus investigation, Letitia James relied on the testimony of Michael Cohen.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, your most trusted compatriot who was your fixer for years and who worked for Sean Hannity as well. Tell me more.
A convicted felon and liar.
He lied on your behalf. He went to jail for you.
The Southern District of New York astutely described Cohen as a man who, quote, repeatedly used his power and influence for deceptive ends by engaging in, quote, extensive, deliberate, and serious criminal conduct consistent
Yeah, working for you.
with a, quote, pattern of deception that
Yes, the pattern, if you get back away far enough from it, is a fucking quilt of your face.
permeated his professional life. This was in a long, many-page statement by him.
A long, many-page statement. Obviously, it doesn't cover it all here, but you have to. Yes, you mean the long, many-page statement that details his business dealings with you?
It only gets worse.
They had centerfolds. They were disgusting.
This is the witness, a stone-cold loser, a real loser, that
Wouldn't you say liar? Calling him a loser sounds like he went to jail for you. Now it sounds like you're shit-talking one of your operatives, like some mid-level mob boss.
she used to justify her obsessive work, her obsessive...
It's on the next page. Just turn the page. Just remember the word her obsessive and then stop talking until you turn the page, because you're making a legal statement that you prepared before so you don't talk anywhere past it and get yourself in deep shit. Ask Haba Haba. She's sitting right there.
investigation of me, even though he got in civil and criminal trouble for representing himself on a taxi cab company that he had and other things. And
Yeah, on a taxi cab company. He was doing taxi cab medallions, for fuck's sake.
also others as a lawyer.
Also, everything. Anything he touched was criminal, except the stuff he did for me, which I don't even know about. Fucking coffee guy.
I once asked, if you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
You once were asked. Who were you talking to when you said this? This is not a question. I don't know. This is so fucking stupid. He's acting like he asked this of someone else who was pleading the Fifth. How many fucking people do you know pleading the Fifth? besides Eric?
I was asking that question.
No, you were asked that question.
Now I know the answer to that question. When your family, your company, and all the people in your orbit have become the targets of an unfounded, politically motivated witch hunt, supported by lawyers, prosecutors, and even the fake news media, you really have no choice.
Why? Isn't sunshine the best disinfectant? Why don't you just roll out and tell the truth, and you won't, if you don't have anything to hide? Of all people, you should know that there's an entire media sphere out there running to fucking protect you. This is not somebody, he's not being corralled in a fucking precinct interview room where they're just trying to find a fall guy for something. Holy God.
We cannot permit a renegade and out-of-control prosecutor to...
Look her in the eyes. She's right there. Look her in the eyes. Come on, do you even alpha male, bro?
Use this investigation as a means of advancing her political career.
Why would it advance her political career if you're innocent and you haven't done anything wrong, and she's going to swing and miss because you'll never get it'll never... Do you see what I'm saying? Why? Again, all right.
New York deserves better, and this country deserves better.
I don't know that he believes that. I think he wants the country to fail without him, because that's the only way he can justify his existence.
Being a prosecutor is a very important thing.
Aww.
This is a vindictive and self-serving fishing expedition, the likes of which this country has perhaps never seen before.
Also, by the way, why would it be self-serving and not... Oh, never mind. Same shit.
If there was any question in my mind, the raid on my home 2 days ago, Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach, Florida, by the FBI, just 2 days prior to this deposition, think of it, wiped...
Okay, I'm thinking. Yeah, 2 separate cases. Fuck yourself.
...out any of that uncertainty. I have absolutely no choice, because the current administration and many prosecutors in this country have lost all moral and ethical bounds of decency. Anyone in my position not taking the Fifth Amendment would be a fool, an absolute fool. One statement or answer that is ever so slightly off, just ever so slightly, by accident, by mistake, such as it was a sunny and beautiful day when actually it was slightly overcast, would be met by law enforcement at a level seldom seen in this country, because I've experienced it.
Okay, first of all, no, he hasn't. He has never... By the way, just for the record, in case anybody's frightened by this pitiful excuse for a man's understanding of both law and human interaction, just for the record, your opinions are never policed. Your changing opinions or your wrong opinions about things like the weather, this doesn't even factor. This is just stupid. And the idea that it's met with the harshest possible... I mean, part of it's maybe because he calls the fucking search of Mar-a-Lago a raid, because he's a fucking wuss. But we've seen tactical responses to violent people held up in houses with hostages and all kinds of shit. It's not even close. They knocked. They gave a copy of the warrant to his fucking lawyer and told her to stand outside, and then they looked for shit. Calm the fuck down.
The United States Constitution exists for this very purpose, and I will utilize it to the fullest extent and defend myself against this malicious attack by this administration, this Attorney General's office.
The aliens that really run the place, the Queen, the Rothschilds, the Medicis, the DeBorges, and Colonel Sanders before he went tets up.
And all other attacks on my family, my business, and our country. According
Yeah, none of these are an attack on the country. You're supposed to say myself there, my family, my business, and myself. That's a weird and not accidental thing that he replaces the country with where most normal people would put themselves. Because he's hiding behind his family and the country.
under the advice of my counsel, and for all of the above reasons, I respectfully decline to answer the questions under the rights and privileges afforded to every citizen under the United States Constitution.
Yeah, he could have just said that shit. The rest of it's all just, I mean, you could have just farted and said that. It would have had the same effect legally.
This will be my answer to any further questions.
Womp womp.
Include among the rights and privileges afforded every citizen under the United States Constitution. Does that include the Fifth Amendment right to avoid incrimination?
Yes.
So your counsel?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
No, he's worried about quartering soldiers. By the way, the DA is just trying to get him to, to say stuff on the record so that he goes, I didn't even know about that shit later. It's like as someone who's pretending when they go, do you know your rights? And they're like, yeah, I know my rights. And then they complain they weren't Mirandized properly. That kind of shit. He's trying to pull one of those.
I will just note for the record that was a lengthy statement. Obviously, we disagree with a lot of the characterizations, but to keep today's proceedings moving, I'm going to move on to my questioning.
By the way, like in the first few, we'll move on after this too, because he just keeps this shit up. But watch how he starts reading it at first, and then everybody's like, can he just say same answer from this point on?
So, Mr. Trump, I take it you are not going to answer any questions about your preparation today with your counsel. Is that correct?
Then, should I say this, or should I respond to that?
Just read that.
For all of the reasons provided in my answer, which is incorporated herein in its entirety, I decline to answer the question.
Okay. Mr. Trump, the focus of our investigation and what we are primarily going to cover today involves the presentation of your statements of financial condition between 2011 and the present. I take it you are generally familiar with those statements. Is that correct?
For all of the reasons provided in my answer, which is incorporated herein in its entirety, I decline to answer the question.
Okay. Did you review any of those statements from the period 2011 to 2021 during your preparation for today's testimony?
For all of the reasons provided in my answer, which is incorporated herein in its entirety, I decline to answer the question.
Counsel, I think we can all stipulate that if he says same answer, we will all understand it to be the same invocation.
That's correct.
To speed things up. Okay.
No problem.
With that note, sir.
He's like, oh, good, we'll get out of here sooner. It seems like the most stressful thing was him having to read that over and over again. You'd think he'd have it memorized by the fifth one.
You are current.
I would have, not to be a dick, but I would have memorized it before I came in. I might just decide to, memorize a legal response on the Fifth Amendment just so that I could say it at the drop of a fucking hat. According to the rights provided to me by the Constitution, I hereby plead the Fifth Amendment and refuse to answer on the grounds that it may incriminate me. Just like whip that out.
Currently the president of the Trump Organization, is that correct?
Same answer.
Yeah, definitely not.
And when I refer to the Trump Organization, is it accurate to describe that as the trade name for an umbrella organization that holds assets beneficially owned by you?
Same answer.
Yeah. See, dude can't even talk about any aspect of his business without opening up a fucking can of worms. And that's part of why, his whole flop sweat thing. Because his big worry, like I said before, he's having a real telltale heart moment right now. He knows about the shit they know about. He also knows about the shit they don't know about. And that's what scares the fuck out of him.
Is it fair to say that the Trump Organization sits on top of several hundred different legal entities?
Same answer.
Are the assets of the Trump Organization currently held in irrevocable trust?
Same answer.
By the way, everything the DA is asking him in this situation, the answer is yes. They are not going to sit down across from a former president and a current alleged billionaire with a bunch of psychotic insurrectionists on fucking speed dial to ask him questions that aren't going to have a yes answer. Just understand that. There's another purpose to this deposition ultimately, is because by him pleading the fifth across the board and then them bringing him, after this, they're going to bring him to trial. There's going to be a trial. We're going to watch Donald Trump fucking sit in a witness booth just like Alex Jones and be asked these questions and have to do this shit over and over again. But they're going to have this, this understanding that they're going to ask him these questions. Did the business start here? Is it in a trust? Are you the president? Does it have all these things? They're going to ask him. He's going to say, I plead the fifth. And then they're going to bring Weisselberg out, who's going to get some time shaved off of his trial, or somebody from Mazars who knows for a fact because they filed all the fucking papers. And they're going to go, yep. Is there a reason why Mr. Trump would not know this? Nope. What's the answer to this question? Yep. Is there a reason why Mr. Trump would not know this? Nope. That's how it's going to play out.
Is that revocable trust the Donald J. Trump revocable trust dated April 7, 2014?
Same answer.
And you are the donor of the assets in that trust. Is that correct?
Same answer.
And you are the sole beneficiary of the assets in that trust. Is that correct?
Same answer.
Why did you form that trust in April 2014?
Same answer.
Who were the trustees when the trust was first founded?
Same answer.
At some point, Alan Weisselberg...
And by the way, there's like an emotional arc that he goes through as he's doing this, where he starts getting kind of fed up, and then the resolution sits in. It's like the 4 stages of grief. Right now he's angry, and in the beginning he's in denial. Now it's anger.
Berg and your son, Don Jr.
And so, I guess sadness and acceptance.
Were the trustees. Is that correct?
Same answer.
Did you ever consider retaining independent trustees to oversee the trust?
Same answer.
At present, your son, Don Jr., is the sole trustee. Is that correct?
Same answer. Right?
Yeah, they give him some stuff to review, and then they go, is this thing? And he goes, same answer.
Thank you.
Like,
Mr. Trump, the court reporter has handed you a document. It is a printout of an Excel spreadsheet, so it doesn't have a document number on it. But I'll represent to you that it is the supporting spreadsheet for your statement of financial condition for the year June 30.
He nodded. He nodded. That's an answer.
2011. Do you recognize the form of this document?
Same answer.
Same, but he went. There you go. He's like.
This is the supporting data spreadsheet that was used to prepare your 2011 statement of financial condition. Is that correct?
Same answer.
The spreadsheet is used to calculate the valuations contained in the statement of financial condition. Is that correct?
Same answer.
Yeah, so anyways, same shit for a while, and then here we'll go to the near end of it. Because he's, like, at this point, he's fucking had it.
Or been able to provide the renovation to the property that occurred.
Same answer.
Next question is about apartments held by your daughter at 502 Park Avenue.
Don't nod, motherfucker. Hold still.
Do you know if the below market rent that she had on her rental apartments at 502 Park Avenue were provided in exchange for work performed as part of her responsibilities at the Trump Organization?
Same answer.
Do you know if the below market purchase options that you provided your daughter on 502 Park Avenue apartments was made in exchange for work performed as part of her job at the Trump Organization?
Same answer.
Do you know if the benefits from any below market rents were reflected in any tax forms at the Trump Organization?
Same answer.
Do you know if the value of any below market purchase options were reflected as either gifts or compensation on any tax forms at the Trump Organization?
Same answer.
He so wants to get mad and say something. It's fabulous.
We can go off the record.
Yeah.
We're going off the record at 3:12 p.m.
While we're off the record, let's do any of my...
They're like, basically, he just found out they're done.
We're back on the record at 3:12 p.m.
Mr. Trump, just back on the record.
And we're, sorry.
Somebody's whispering to him, or they're whispering to the DA person.
As I was saying, we are back on the record to confirm that we have completed our testimony today. Thank you for your appearance.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everybody.
Off the record.
Thank you all. We're on the record at 3:13 p.m. and this concludes today's testimony given by Donald J. Trump.
Jesus Christ. Just so gross. It's a consistent thing with him, by the way. It's you like that's all he can do in any of these things. But because it's financial stuff, I mean, for lack of a better analogy, you know, off the cuff, there's a lot of bloody gloves everywhere, and they all fit. And his habit and his personality is such that he just wants to say, of course it's my fucking glove. Oh, they're all my gloves. I own all the gloves in the world. Yeah, you're goddamn right there, bloody. I wipe out everybody. Like, it's so lame.